I still remember walking through Intramuros. My feet tapped on old stone roads. The sun was setting behind the tall walls. It felt like I had stepped back in time. But Intramuros isn't just an old place. It's a living history. A place where science, technology, and people all came together. And today, it still has lessons for us even in our modern world.
Hi, I'm Elisha Kaira and I'm mailing from 1.12 PSHN. In the, in 1571, when the Spanish came to Manila, the first thing they did was build Intramuros. But this wasn't just any city, it was a fortress, a stronghold. They used math and science to design it. The walls were thick and tall, and there were corners called bastions where they placed canyons. A moat surrounded the city. Everything was planned, not just to protect but to show power. Inside the city had churches, schools, and homes all in blocks. It was one of the earliest examples of organized city planning in the Philippines, thanks to science and technology. But here's something important. Those strong walls didn't welcome everyone. Only the Spanish, some wealthy Filipinos were allowed to live inside. The rest, the locals, the Chinese, the workers, had to stay outside the walls. The walls weren't just for protection, they were also used to separate bit of the city but also help divide it. Then came World War II. Bombs destroyed almost everything inside Intramuros. The city was left in ruins. But people didn't give up. Over the years, Filipinos worked to rebuild it, stone by stone, not to bring colonial rule, but to keep our history alive. This shows us something powerful. Even when technology destroys, people can rebuild with hope. Today, Intramuros is being saved again. This time using new technology. Drones fly over it to take photos. Especially scanners make 3D maps to the buildings. Augmented reality lets visitors see how old churches looked hundreds of years ago. It's like history coming back to life. Intramuros is becoming a model of what we call smart heritage, using tech to protect history and help people connect with it in new ways. So, why does it matter today? Why talk about a 400-year-old city in the age of AI and TikTok? Well, because Intramuros teaches us something important. Technology isn't just about machines or buildings, it's about people. It can protect or divide. It can destroy or rebuild. It depends on how we use it. Intramuros may be old, but it stays strong. It's a story. It's alive, and it reminds us that to move forward, we also need to look back. Thank you.
The walled city is the historic core of Manila, Philippines. Built in 1571 by Spanish colonizers, it served as the political, religious, and military center of the Spanish Empire in Asia for 333 years. The city was fortified with massive stone walls to protect it from invasions. Inside, it housed important structures like the Manila Cathedral, Fort Santiago, and various churches, convents, and government buildings. Intramuros suffered extensive damage during World War II, particularly during the Battle of Manila in 1945. After decades of neglect, restoration efforts began in the 1970s, transforming it into a cultural and historical landmark. The Baluarte de San Francisco de Dilao is a historic bastion located in the southwestern part of Intramuros, Manila. Built in the early 17th century, it was designed to reinforce the defense of the walled city, particularly against attacks from the bay. The name Dilao refers to a nearby settlement of Japanese immigration known as Dilao, which means yellow in Spanish, reflecting their presence in the area. The baluarte featured artillery platform and was part of the city's complex system of fortification. It played a crucial role in defending Intramuros during various conflicts, including the British invasion of Manila in 1760. Though it suffered damage during World War II, it has since been partially restored and remains a significant historical site showing the Spanish military architecture and of the colonial period. The Intramuros presidential murals are part of a grand artistic project located in the historic Ayuntamiento de Manila, a reconstructed 19th century building that now houses the Bureau of the Treasury. The murals, created by Filipino artists such as Elmer Borlongan, John Santos, and Romulo Galisano, celebrate the legacies of past and current Philippine presidents, depicting significant moments in their leadership and their impact on the country's history. Each mural tells a unique story, from the Declaration of Independence by Emilio Aguinaldo to the economic reforms under Fidel V. Ramos, and recent developments under more contemporary leaders. The artwork blends realistic and symbolic elements, incorporating imagery that represents Filipino culture, the country's struggles against colonial rule, and the quest for sovereignty. The project was envisioned as a tribute to the nation's leader and as an educational tool for visitors, offering a visual narrative of the Philippines' political journey from the Spanish colonial era to the present. The murals also highlight the evolution of Filipino identity, resilience, and the ongoing efforts towards national development. Today, they stand as a testament to the country's rich history and its enduring spirit within the symbol. Stone Church in the Philippines. Completed in 1607, built by Spanish colonizer in the Baroque architectural style. It is renowned for its intricate carvings, beautiful trompe, ceiling paintings, and richly decorated interiors. The church has survived earthquakes, fires, and the World War II bombings, making it a symbol of resilience. It was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site as part of the Baroque churches of the Philippines. Today, San Agustin Church is a popular historical and cultural site, attracting visitors for its stunning architecture and historical significance.